Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Shri Nam Sankirtan ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtapayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 20, The Structure of the Universe. Text 5. Pranatasya Vishnu Rupam Yad Satyasya Tasya Brahmanaha Amritasya Cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahiti. Okay, Suryam Atmanam Imahi is fine. It is. Thus, no, they are praying with this mantra. Okay. Pranatasya Vishnu Rupam Yad Satyasya Brahmanaha Amritasya Cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahi. Pranatasya Vishnu Rupam Yad Satyasya Brahmanaha Amritasya Cha Mrityoscha Suryam Atmanam Imahi. Pranatasya Vishnu Rupam Yad Satyasya Brahmanaha Amritasya Cha Mrityoscha Suryam Imahi. Ratnasya Vishnu Rupam Ratnasya Satyasya Tasya Brahmanaha Amritasya Cha Mrityoscha Suryam Imahi. Ratnasya. Okay. Give word-to-word meaning. Pratnasya, of the oldest person. Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. Rupam, the form. Yet, which Satyasya, of the absolute truth. Ritasya, of Dharma. Brahmanaha, of the Supreme Brahman. Amritasya, of the auspicious result. Cha, and Mrityaho, of death, the inauspicious results. Cha, and Suryam, the demigod Surya. Atmanam, the super soul or origin of all souls, Imahi, we approach for shelter, thus iti, thus. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation: this mantra, this is the mantra by which the inhabitants of Plakshadvipa worship the Supreme Lord. Let us take shelter of the Sun God, who is a reflection of Lord Vishnu, the all-expanding Supreme Personality of Godhead, the oldest of all persons. Vishnu is the only worshipable Lord. He is the Vedas, He is religion, and He is the origin of all auspicious and inauspicious results. Purport is little elaborate, so we will study the purport as we go. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruh Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So here we see this section actually nicely brings about that how everyone at every sphere or every geographical location is worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is nicely verified that Bhoktara Mikna Tapasham Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So Vishnu is the Bhokta or Vishnu is the enjoyer, and Yajna is the standard economic system. And so everywhere, everyone is performing yajna to please the Supreme Lord Vishnu. So this is very nicely put forward. So now here we see, so all this while we have been seeing that they were taking shelter of different tracts of land, the inhabitants were taking shelter of different forms of Vishnu himself, like Naranara and Rishi we saw. Then what else, what other avatars they were taking shelter? Lord Ramachandra we saw. Then Kamadev also was there, no? Kamadev was there, Nrsimhadev was there. So, like that. So, this many different Kamadev means like Mohini form or like the attractive form of the Lord. So, in this way, like we see that many different forms of the Lord. So, but here we see that taking shelter of Sun God. Sun God is demigod or Vishnu himself? Hmm? Surya Narayan, they'll tell, no? Huh? Oh. So the sometimes the Supreme Lord occupies the position of these devatas, and sometimes Narayana himself officiates the position of Sun. But then it's not always the case. So generally, sun is a demigod, and sometimes it holds true for Brahma's position, Indra's position. So in all these positions, the Lord sometimes he may personally officiate that position. So, but in general, the sun god is a like Devata. And let us take shelter of the sun god, who is a reflection of Lord Vishnu, the all expanding supreme personality of Godhead, the oldest of all persons. So, like Pratnasya of the oldest person, Vishnu. So, like that is very nicely established in the first line itself. And so then they are talking about Rupam, yet um, so like they are talking about his form being the oldest, and he is the absolute truth, he is the supreme Brahman and things like that. So, and he is the source of amritasya cha mrityoscha. So he is the source of all auspiciousness and inauspiciousness also. So like there is no different source for no, the Western philosophies actually try to they struggle with this kind of this one, that all good actually comes from God, all bad is comes from evil. So they bring about two entities. There is one entity that is good, and there is another entity that is evil, and there is constant fight between good and evil, or divine and the God and evil, or God and the devil and things like that. So this concept is there. So, but in Vedic concept, so there is no two things. There is only one source of everything. No, so there is Sarva Karana Karanam. So there is only one source of everything that exists. So that is Supreme Personality of God. So this is something very difficult for the Western philosophers to digest. That how is bad thing also comes from God only. So just like no, sun only creates sunshine, and sun only creates the clouds also, and which creates darkness, right? So which hides the sun and which creates darkness. So this is a very nice example to actually bring about this point, that amrutasya cha mrityoscha. So generally, like through this idea, they also have the idea that God means he is always goody goody and things like that. And whenever something happens, something bad happens, they think that under the influence of the evil. So like all these things are happening, and we have to pray to God to win over the evil and things like that. So, but the devotees like Prahlad, so when he saw the demons like Hiranyakashipu, and they were not very much bewildered. So they were saying that okay, this power is also coming from the Lord only. And when Hiranyakashipu personally asked Prahlad, from where you are getting power? So there is only one source of power. So everybody are getting power from that source only. So even though this power is quite bewildering, he is chanting all the time, and he is remembering the Lord all the time. And what is the reciprocation? No, he is getting beaten up. He's thrown into like some fire, or he's thrown into ocean, and this kind of things are happening. And he is able to see that everything is like the root of everything is the Supreme Lord, and anything that is happening must have its origin or must have its sanction from the Supreme Lord. So in that way, he is constantly Krishna conscious, and he is not able to see something different from the Supreme Lord. Rather, when the like what is it? When the teachers were telling, you see, like this are all friends and these are all enemies, and friends, we'll have to deal with them in separate way, and enemies we'll have to deal with them in separate way. So that is something which is, this duality is something which Prahlad is not able to digest. So where is this duality arising from? Everything is part and parcel of Krishna. Everything should be used in service of Krishna. So like why this division of friends and enemies and things like that? So that is something that he could not digest in the school. So this is a very interesting concept, amrutasya cha mrityoscha. So everything that comes from, like generally when we talk about God is the origin of everything, sab kuch unse hi aa raha hai, so then everybody accepts. But when you specifically ask about where from the evil comes, that must be something different. It must not have its origin in the God. So like, but the Vedic system, it talks about ekameva advitiya. There is one absolute truth. There is no second entity apart from him. that exist. So there is, and then they are telling Suryam, Atmanam, no, Imahi. So we approach like no to take shelter of no from the demigod Surya. So and no, he's been described as the supreme personality of Godhead. So sometimes this may be bewildering. If you see like the yajna process, those of you who have observed the mantras that are chanted in the yajna, so they will be calling out the names of Indra, Chandra, Varuna, and all these personalities will be invoked. And all of them are invoked as parts of the body of the Supreme Lord. So it is not that the demigod themselves are invoked or something like that. So it is like when you know the government is there, like Srila Prabhupada actually gives the example. The government is there, and you want to like pay some bills to the government. You may pay to a particular department. So, but then eventually it goes to the treasury of the government only. So, but if the person over there itself is considered to be the controller, so then it is a wrong understanding. And if the person also accepts the bribe, then it's a wrong dealing actually. So that is not the right dealing. So right dealing is okay, he is representative of the government and he does some acts representing the government. And if I have that kind of understanding and if he also reciprocates properly, so then it's a proper transaction. It is not something that is criminal or something like that. So the asuras, they try to directly deal with the demigods, not considering them to be parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, or they think that ki like either kuch bribes de ke like na kuch kaam karayenge, things like that. So in that way, like that's demoniac. Hmm. So, but to consider the demigods as parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and then like approaching them in that way, that is not adharmic, right? So, okay. So now we see that let's take shelter of the sun god, who is a reflection of Lord Vishnu. So this is the mood in which, or representation of Lord Vishnu, or part of the body of Lord Vishnu, something like that. So like then whatever is mentioned is, it makes sense. He is the oldest, he's all expanding supreme personality of Godhead. He's present everywhere. He's the oldest of all persons, and Vishnu is the only worshipable Lord, and he is the Vedas, Vedo Narayana Sakshat, that is there. He is religion, so like religion means what? Veda Pranito Dharma, and then Vedo Narayana Sakshat. So like Vedas are Sakshat Narayana, and whatever is mentioned in the Vedas is the religion, Dharma, and he is the origin of all auspicious and inauspicious results. So, purport, Lord Vishnu is even the supreme Lord of death, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityos Sarva Haras Chaham. So like so what to speak of just the good and inauspicious, or auspicious and inauspicious results. So he is even the death personified. So the Supreme Lord is everything that exists is Supreme Lord. And in case if somebody is having some capacity, now Yamaraj is the controller of death. From where he is getting the capacity? No, it is delegated capacity that he is got from the Supreme Lord. So Supreme Lord is the reservoir of all that can be done. So everything, all the capacities, all the power, everything is lies only with the Supreme Lord. And if he delegates, so then some devatas can get some powers to execute that. So now when we see that devata itself is the possessor of the power, so then it's wrong sambandha, wrong understanding. And with that wrong understanding, when we do a transaction, then it becomes wrong. But if we see that, okay, this is a power that is delegated, and it is originally the power of the Supreme Lord. So then, like Hiranyakashipu is hardcore materialist. But how can you become Krishna conscious in association of Hiranyakashipu? So Prahlad was managed to become Krishna conscious, seeing that, okay, the power that Hiranyakashipu is having is power given by Krishna. And the very same thing is being told in the Bhagavad Gita, that like Punya Gandha, so like this one auspicious fragrance is Krishna, and then this one taste of water is Krishna, and things like that. So everywhere we can actually see, everywhere we can actually see the manifestation of Krishna, or energy of Krishna being delegated and present. So in that way, we can see that Krishna is present. So like one can be Krishna conscious even in the material atmosphere, because all the power that is coming, or all that displayed as matter, is power of Krishna only. Bhumi, Rapo, Nala, Vayu. So power of Krishna only. So in that way, Mrityu, death is also Krishna himself, right? And two kinds of reactions that Srila Prabhupada describes, in terms of death. Reaction of a devotee. What is the reaction of a devotee when he sees death? Hmm? So it's like a meeting a friend. It's like Krishna is the Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. So this one is like, I'm going to meet my friend. And then the reaction of a non-devotee is, a demon. He is afraid. He is afraid of the Supreme Lord. So, like devotee, even if the Lord appears in the form of a death, still, for a devotee, it is so nice actually. In fact, it is one thing that is mentioned. Anybody who is surrendered unto the Supreme Lord, and then he is nicely executing Krishna consciousness. So his attitude towards death is, he is eagerly waiting, when that day will come. ताकि like shift हो सकते हैं हम लोग. So it is like there's somebody who is having a 2 BHK house and very cramped and things like that, and he's got a very good job and he has earned a nice money, and then he's booked a villa, and now he's waiting eagerly, like, कब date आएगा, possession मिलेगा हमको, हम shift होंगे. So like that, so this sincere sadhaka, who has executed Krishna consciousness nicely, for him he'll be eager to meet the death. For him death is like this. And then it's like demon approaching death is like uska already villa mein hai, या like किसी भी घर में है, and then he has got too many loans and he is not able to pay back. And अभी घर कब्जा करने वाला है, उसको घर से भगाने वाला है. So like he'll be finding it very very challenging, that particular thing. He'll find it quite miserable, the experience of death to be quite miserable. So that's the experience of a person who is demon. So like mrityu, or the death, is also like the Lord. So everything, sarva karana karanam is the Lord. So there are two kinds of activities, that is auspicious and inauspicious, and both are controlled by Lord Vishnu. Inauspicious activities are said to be the behind of Lord Vishnu, whereas the auspicious activities stand before him. So this is also like an experience that is, no, uh, who experienced this kind of vision? Vyasadev, the like Vyasa Narada Samvat. Like, after that, I think 6th chapter or 7th chapter, this comes that, after Narada gives instruction to Vyasadev, and Vyasadev follows that instruction and tries to meditate on the Supreme Lord, tries to get an access, or tries to get a darshan of the Supreme Lord. So when he is having darshan of the Supreme Lord, he's able to see the Lord, and he's able to see the living entities, and he's able to see the Maya. So like all energies of the Lord, like he's able to see the complete darshan of the Lord with all his energies, his spiritual energy, his material energy, and the Lord himself, everything. And how is the position of the material energy? So material energy is like a shadow of the Supreme Lord. It's in the behind of the Supreme Lord. So, but it has its origin in the Supreme Lord. So he gets a very clear picture of what is matter and how matter is related with the Supreme Lord. So this inauspiciousness is the absence of Krishna. So like, or the behind of Krishna. So the auspicious and inauspicious exist throughout the entire world, and Lord Vishnu is the controller of them both. So shadow, Maya, Mayam cha yadapashrayam, that is mentioned. So it is like it is taking shelter of the Supreme Lord, and it is sometimes it is also considered to be shadow of the Supreme Lord. The shadow doesn't have its own independent existence. No, shadow cannot move on its own. Shadow is controlled by the object. If the object changes, then the shadow also changes. So like it is in essence, like it is mentioned, Lord Vishnu is the controller of them both. No, so both auspicious and inauspiciousness is controlled by the Supreme Lord. In this, in regard to this verse, Srila Madhvacharya says, Surya Somagni Varisha Vidatrishu Yatha Kramam Plakshadi Dvipa Samstasau Sitam Harim Upasate. So, like all of these, even the residents of Plaksha, Dvipa, and other Dvipas, so they actually worship Harim Upasate by worshipping these different personalities. There are many lands, fields, mountains, and oceans throughout the creation, and everywhere the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped by his different names. So Surya, Soma, Agni, Varisha. So, like, they're worshipped in different names, but then they're worshipping Hari only. They're not worshipping the demigods. Srila Veera Raghava Acharya explains this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam as follows. The original cause of cosmic manifestation must be the oldest person and must therefore be beyond material transformations. So, like, this is a very important thing. Oldest person, it's a relative term. Like, oldest means, if somebody is there in an assembly, so, like, who's the oldest? Like, for example, in the Rajasuya sacrifice, when it was performed, the oldest person in that assembly was this one, what is it, Bhishmadev. And then still Brahma also came, I think. So then oldest person is Brahma. But then actually the oldest person is Krishna. Right? So, like, he is the most, like Puranam. He's the most oldest person. So actually the oldest person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because he is the one, when he was existing, nothing else was existing. And after that, creation came, and then everything started to exist. After the creation, when the dissolution happened, only he remains. Right? So this is the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. We find this thing. So he is the oldest person. So then the original cause of the cosmic manifestation is the oldest person. That means he must have been there before the creation, and he must be beyond the material transformations. And he is the enjoyer of all auspicious activities and is the cause of conditioned life and also liberation. So he is the enjoyer of all activities is not mentioned. He is the enjoyer of all auspicious activities. So why it is mentioned like that? Lord is a bhokta of yajna tapasam, bhoktaram yajna tapasam. So, like, we see that there is another thing that's also mentioned. The Supreme Lord is mentioned as like Upadrishta, Anumanta Upadrishta, Bharta, Bhokta. So there also he is considered to be Bhokta. So all the activities of the living entity, ultimately the Lord is the Bhokta. But then, like, he is specifically mentioned as he is the Yajna Bhuk, or he is the enjoyer of the Yajna. He is enjoyer of the auspicious activities. That means either the Yajna that is performed through the process of karma, or jnana, or yoga, or bhakti. So the enjoyer of all these activities is the Supreme Lord. That is a way that we glorify him, and he is the enjoyer of all auspicious activities. So the demigod Surya, who is categorized as a very powerful jiva or living entity, is a representation of one of the parts of his body. So, like, which part of the body of the Lord is eyes. So that is, he is mentioned as the eyes of the Lord. And we are naturally subordinate to powerful living entities, and therefore we can worship various demigods as living beings who are powerful representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in fact, all the Vedic mantras are composed in this way, that I worship, I offer this thing to Indra, who is the hand of the Supreme Lord, who is the powerful hand of the Supreme Lord. So it's like worship of Vishnu, but like specifically offering oblations to various devatas. So in order to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's not adharma. So it is what is adharma? Trying to worship the demigod as the powerful, as the like Swayam powerful entity. So like he doesn't have he's not deriving power from elsewhere. He himself is the powerful entity. So then it is a problem. So, but if we understand him to be a powerful entity deriving power from the Supreme Lord and originally connected to the Supreme Lord, so then such kind of a worship of demigod is not adharmic. So, therefore, we can worship various demigods as living beings who are powerful representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although the worship of Sun God is recommended in this mantra, he is worshipped not as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but as his powerful representative. So, this is the way of demigod worship or legal demigod worship. In the Katha Upanishad, it is said, Ritam pibanto sukrutasya loke गुहां प्रविष्टौ परमे परार्धे छायात छायातपौ ब्रह्मविदो वदन्ति पंचाग्नयो ये छ त्रि nachiketa. O Nachiketa, the expansions of Lord Vishnu as the tiny living entity and the super soul are both situated within the cave of the heart of this body. Having entered that cavity, the living entity resting on the chief of the life airs enjoys the results of activities, and the super soul, acting as witness, enables him to enjoy. Those who are well versed in knowledge of Brahman and those householders who carefully follow the Vedic regulations say that the difference between the two is like the difference between shadow and the sun. So now we see that there's two things that are compared: the living entity and the Supreme Lord or the Super Soul. So both of them, where do they reside? They reside in the cavity of the like basically in the region of the heart of the living entity. So then, what is their position? So the living entity is trying to be like the Ishvara or the enjoyer. So like how does he? As we discussed before, all the power that exists actually comes from the Supreme Lord. So anywhere anything is, any power that we see, it is from the Supreme Lord. So now another angle of this one is the enjoyer. Who's the actual enjoyer? Bhokta is the Supreme Lord. And if I am trying to enjoy, that is also delegation from the Supreme Lord only. So he only can enable me to enjoy. So he is the only enjoyer. The activity of enjoyment can only be done by the Supreme Lord. If anybody has to enjoy anything, that has to be like allowed by the Supreme Lord. No, otherwise, like he cannot enjoy. So this here it is nicely mentioned that living entity is resting on the life airs. So it's basically the Atma is floating on the life airs. So like and these and they try to enjoy the results. How does one? The first perception is through the immediate perception. Possibility of perception is through the life airs, and then it is through the subtle body and the gross body and things like that. So the activity of enjoyment may happen, and the living entity may think that I am enjoying, but it is mentioned the super soul acting as witness enables him to enjoy. So like अभी गुलाब जामुन मुंह पे डाला तो भगवान like ठीक है भाई like तुम गुलाब जामुन खाया है like this is the experience. The Lord has to give us the experience. Otherwise we cannot experience. So like in that way like the Lord is the origin of everything actually. So those who are well versed in knowledge of Brahman and those householders who carefully follow the Vedic regulation say that the difference between these two are like the sun and the shadow. So the Supreme Lord is like the sun, and the living entity is a dependent entity. So it's a dependent entity. Here it is the dependent entity is mentioned as the shadow, and sometimes it is also compared with sun, and the living entity is compared to particles of the sun rays. So like that also. So essentially, all of these analogies actually capture this point that the Lord is the origin and we are a dependent entity. So who is created by this this one, both the particles of the sunshine and also the shadow, both are creations of the sun. So like so it's like shadow or even clouds or something like that. It's creations of the sun. So without sun you cannot, or without a source of light you cannot create a shadow. So that is not possible. So it is the essential attribute or essential function of we being a dependent entity and created by the source. That is upheld in these various analogies. So, no, the basic idea is that the living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and he can only experience those things which are delegated by the Supreme Lord. In the in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6:16, it is said, "Sa Vishwakrit Vishwavidhat Mayonihi Jnana Kalakaro Guni Sarvaivid Yaha Pradana Kshetrajna Patir Guneshah Samsara Moksha Sthiti Bandha Hetu." The Supreme Lord, the creator of this cosmic manifestation, knows every nook and corner of his creation. Although he is the cause of creation, there is no cause for his appearance. He is fully aware of everything. He is the super soul, the master of all transcendental qualities, and he is the master of cosmic manifestation in regard to bondage to the conditioned state of material existence and liberation from that bondage. So now you see that the Lord is glorified as the original creator, and he knows he's omniscient. And so in this current prayer or worship of the sun, now we can see that this quality of omniscience, generally it is attributed towards the super soul. And who all are people who are witness of various activities, who are cognizant of various things that are happening? Huh. Any uh, sun, moon? Huh? Oh, okay. Sun, moon, Paramatma. Then wind is there, air is there, directions are there, uh, like that. So this various different entities are the witness. So it seems like Surya Dev also has the capacity to know everything, know what is happening. So it's a capacity. Omniscience is a capacity of the Paramatma. So, but Surya Dev also has this capacity. It's basically by the way of delegation from the Supreme Lord. So the Lord is capable. He is supremely capable. And if he empowers a living entity to with a particular power, so it may be very, very amazing power, but it's just that Lord has to empower him, and then he'll be able to do anything and everything. Right? So, and the great personalities, we find that Arjuna's that shloka is there, no? So where he is coming back to Hastinapur, and then he is Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking, like about his welfare, and why is he sad and things like that and all. So one of the things that he mentions is that I am the same Arjuna, I have the same Gandiva, like I have the same horses, and all these things are there. So, but then now I don't have the Supreme Lord, or Supreme Lord has switched off my power, so abhi powerless ho gaya. So like I'm not able to exhibit that kind of power. So here we see, it's amazing, this one, like being able to be cognizant of everything that is happening. Is a witness. Basically is one of the witness. So it's an amazing capacity, being able to know everything. So आपको कोहली पीजी में क्या चल रहा है वो भी पता चलेगा, लेकिन सब कुछ पता चलेगा, and that is like horrible actually. हमको हमारा पतन हो जाएगा actually. It is better that we don't know everything. No? So like so these are great personalities. When they are given such power, they are still Krishna conscious. They are still glorified as devatas. So but हमारा पास ऐसा power देंगे तो so like एक मिनट में like पूरा सर्वनाश हो जाएगा actually. So that is why like so the Lord is capable of giving powers to anyone and everyone, and those who are capable of controlling their senses, and they are given more and more powers and capacities. So it is even Shukadev Goswami is also mentioned, glorified as person who is capable of understanding, or who is capable of residing in everybody's heart, and he is capable of understanding heart of everyone. So when Vyasadev's heart is known, by like he's telling to Shukadev Goswami that you are Vyasadev's son, and like everything, and you reside in the innermost cores of the hearts of every living entity. You dispel the doubts that are there. So such powerful personalities, they know past, present, and future. They know like various different things, but they are not disturbed. So like they are fully cognizant of the Supreme Lord, and they are able to see everything as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Right? So like so if we are given such powers, then like it will be very, very dangerous actually. Similarly, in the Taittiriya Upanishad 2:8, it is said, Bish Bishasmad Vatap Pavate Bisho Dheti Suryah Bishasmad Agni Chandrascha Mrityor Dhavati Panchamah. So it is out of fear of the Supreme Brahman, the wind is blowing. Out of fear of him, the sun regularly rises and sets, and out of fear of him, that fire acts. It is only due to the fear of him that Death and Indra, the king of heaven, perform their respective duties. So, like this is similar to this one. Like we have a shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam as well. So Madhvayad Vati Vati. So this, huh? Huh? So like this is very nice. This one. So this is like in many places in the Vedic literatures it is there. It is out of the fear of the Supreme Lord. No, like all the different devatas, they actually discharge their respective duties. No, fear means basically it's not that like no they are no काम पे वे like no काम कर रहे हैं. So they have a very good boss and जब भी वो गलत करते हैं तो like no मार पड़ता है. But otherwise like they are happy doing they are actually happy being servants of the Supreme Lord. And Madhvayad means like on the order of the Supreme Lord. So uh, they don't transgress the rules of the Supreme Lord. So they are perfectly following the rules and regulations of the Supreme Lord. So as described in this chapter, the inhabitants of the 5 islands, beginning with Plaksha Dvipa, worship the sun god, the moon god, the fire god, and the air and Lord Brahma. So this 5 different personalities they actually worship. This is not the Panchapasana done by the like or recommended by the Mayavadi school. So this is different kind of a 5 personalities. So that Panchapasana is who are the 5? No, first is Shakti, then Ganapati, then Surya, then Shiva and Vishnu. So like that Panchopasana is different. So this is like a different kind of a Panchopasana. So like they worship sun, moon, fire, air, and Lord Brahma. So although they engage in the worship of these 5 demigods, however, they actually worship Lord Vishnu, the super soul of all living entities, as indicated in this verse by the word Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam. Vishnu is Brahma, Amrita, and Mrityu. The Supreme Brahman is the origin of everything, auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. So, this we dealt with in detail. So, he is situated in the heart of everyone, including all the demigods, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:20, Kama istaistar hita jnana prapadyante anya devata. So those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender unto the demigods. People who are almost blind because of lusty desires are recommended to worship the demigods to have their material desires fulfilled. But actually, those desires are not fulfilled by the material demigods. Whatever the demigods do is done with the sanction of Lord Vishnu. People who are too lusty worship various demigods instead of worshipping Lord Vishnu, the super soul of all living entities. But ultimately, it is Lord Vishnu they worship because he is the super soul of all demigods. So the this one is who approaches the demigods. Kama istasya hitajnana prapadyante anya devata. So they actually surrender unto various different devatas. So this is as we discussed many times, like the demoniac is trying to understand that devata itself is powerful, not deriving its power from anywhere else. But then like worshipping the devata as parts and parcels of Vishnu for getting some material benefit. So that is inspired by kama, sakama. So basically it is sakama kind of a worship. And in order to make progress in the transcendental realization of jnana vairagya, so one has to perform nishkama. So like one has to perform nishkama worship. So be it karma yoga or jnana yoga or whatever may be the yoga, if it is nishkama in nature, like we see that bhukti mukti siddhi kami, so all of them are considered to be kami. So like bhukti kamna, siddhi kamna, and like moksha kamna, bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakali ashant. So like Krishna Bhakta Nishkama. So Nishkama means what? He is free from Bhukti Kamna, he is free from Mukti Kamna, and he is free from Siddhi Kamna. So these three things, if he is free from these things. So that is why if you will find wherever Srila Prabhupada is describing the pure devotional service, he at least points two things, free from fruitive activities and mental speculation, or free from fruitive activities and desire for liberation. So this is like given that jnana karma the anavrutam is properly described. So everywhere that Prabhupada is describing pure devotional service, he actually puts the anyavilashita shunyam ka definition in a like easily understandable form. He actually presents that particular definition. So this is approaching the devatas and worshipping them as parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. So this is generally like it is done by the Sakamas. So, but then we find that the people who are Swanishta devotees, so they also worship the demigods, but without any what is that in with a Nishkama kind of an attitude. So, because Nishkama attitude only produces the advancement in the transcendental realization. So, there is possibility of Nishkama karma, where no one worships the Devi Devatas, so as parts and parcels of Supreme Lord. So like no, but then they are free from like no material desires. So but they are going through the organic or the gradual process of advancement. So with this, I kind of covered this purport. I just wanted to show or recite few verses from Bhagavad Gita in this connection. Now we find this yajna section, the section of yajnas that is mentioned. Krishna is mentioning that. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. So this is something that Krishna himself mentions in Bhagavad Gita. That is like rather than trying to control, restrain the senses, like false renunciation. Somebody takes up to false renunciation. Rather than that, one can actually perform karma yoga in Krishna consciousness. That's a good way to start controlling the senses and the mind. So, what is this karma yoga and Krishna consciousness? And that also Krishna mentions without attachment. So it is in a like yes, tvendriyani manasa niyam bhate juna karmendriyai karma yogam ashakta sa vishishyate. So ashakta. So like without attachment, basically nishkama karma. So Krishna is recommending here. And how to perform this nishkama karma? Perform your prescribed duty. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Karma jhayo akarmanah sharira yatrapi cha the na prasiddhyed akarmanah. So here akarmana means without work, not the standard understanding of akarma that devotees have. So that is like devotional service. So here it is mentioned akarma means no one who is giving up the prescribed work. So he is called as someone who is performing akarma. So like perform your prescribed duties. For doing so is better than work, better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. So how the transcendentalists, they are giving up their prescribed duties and how they are expected to maintain themselves? So because they have got sufficient faith in the Supreme Lord being the maintainer, so then he may give up his prescribed activity, prescribed duties. But if he doesn't have so much of faith developed in the Supreme Lord, so then he should perform his prescribed duty And he should understand the results that are coming by the grace of the Supreme Lord, and he should accept it. So, perform a prescribed duty. For doing so is better than not working. So one cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. And then how the work should be performed? So yajnatat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma vandana tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work caused bondage in the material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. So work has to be performed. So like, don't give up your work. Work has to be performed, and what work has to be performed? So the work that is yajna, no, so like yajna karma samudbhava, no, so that is also mentioned. So like how does one perform an activity? So any activity in the Vedic system, any activity that is performed must be a yajna. So it should not be like anything else. No, anything else apart from yajna means there is only karma bandhana, or there is only adharma that is there, no, apart from yajna. So yajna can be performed in karma yoga, jnana yoga, no, in any of the bona fide yoga systems, no, bhakti yoga, like that. So highest form of yajna is the chanting of the names of the Lord. So Taramadhya Sarvashreshta Nama Sankirtan. So, but then, we have many different, forms of yajnas that is there. So, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in the material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. So, there is no, like, there is so much range of good activities are there. Like, no, I can do any of them. No, you cannot just do any of them. You have to do what is prescribed for you. No, so that is the important this one. And then, like how it is done, in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods along with sacrifice for Vishnu. Okay. So along with sacrifice for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation." So this is something that we see that the Lord created the living entities, Lord created the devatas, and then He created the process of yajna. So, and we see the demigods being pleased by sacrifice will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign, for all. So, like when the yajna is performed, the devatas flourish, and so when like the yajna is performed, the living entities also flourish, and in this way, the cooperation, like both of them, are going to prosper very nicely. So, in the this one, in we find this thing that. When the Hiranyakashipu stops all the yajnas, so that time, like devatas, they are, they appear in this world, unseen, and they are searching that anybody will do yajna or not, and things like that. So their source of their this one is like yajna, it's like the yajna must be performed. So the devatas are pleased by the sacrifices, and then they will in turn they will give prosperity to the living entity. In this way, like prosperity will reign everywhere. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. No, it's a cycle. No, anybody breaks this cycle, it's a problem. No, like you have something, and whatever you have, you should actually perform yajna, and that will result in good results. You will get something nice. And what you are supposed to do with that? Again, you should perform yajna. So then no, am I not supposed to eat? Am I not supposed to have my sense gratification? Eating is also an yajna. No, so eating is like how do a person performs yajna. So it is not that eating is meant for sense gratification. Eating is also an yajna. So that is why it's like even having even procreation is also an yajna. No, so like what is it? Where does in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, dharma aviruddha, kamesh, kamosmi, dharma aviruddha kamosmi. So like that karma which is not not against the dharma, so that is actually an yajna. So in this way, the yajna karma samudbhava. So one is not supposed to perform anything apart from yajna. So like that is why the this one is like when these activities, when sleeping or eating or mating and things like that, these activities are looked upon as an activity of sense gratification. So then they become degraded. So the activity is like abominable and things like that. But when the activity is performed as an yajna, so then it is like it has to be performed very sacredly. So like that's how we see in the tradition, like we went to that Madhva Matana, so like where they were chanting certain prayers, they were doing achaman before eating, like the this one, so chanting certain prayers, and then they have to purify, and so many procedures are there because that's an yajna. So the whole act of eating is an yajna. So like so in this way, like we see that every activity that is performed is an act of yajna. So then if the cycle of yajna is protected, so then the whole system is everywhere, it is flourishing, everything is flourishing. But if the yajna is broken, so then that is the greatest inauspiciousness to the living entities. So that is why, like when the Lord comes to create auspiciousness to the living entities, so he establishes dharma samsthapanarthaya, like he comes. So this is the main thing that actually the Lord performs, that he establishes the demigods, the living entities, and the process of yajna. And when this is followed nicely, so then it is very good. Now we have only option that okay, so if you are doing yajna in karma yoga, so then you can upgrade yourself. Maybe you can do yajna in jnana, or you can do yajna in bhakti itself. So in that way, so you have to perform one of the other yajnas. So like we need to have a sinless kind of a like practice of Krishna consciousness must be there. So in one of these things must be there. And demoniac means trying to divert it without without regard to the yajna. So trying to break the cycle of yajna is demoniac. So this is another definition of being like the evil or demoniac and things like that, trying to break the cycle of yajna. So with this, I pause today's discussion. Basically, we saw that like sun god is a demigod, but then these residents of this particular dvipa, so they're taking shelter of sun god, being a representative of the supreme god, and how it is proper, that is explained by like Srila Prabhupada. And then he also mentions that those who are desirous of making serious progress, so they don't need to perform demigod worship, and they should exclusively take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments you can take? Yes, Prabhu.
Studying of the class, it was mentioned that Lord is source of both auspicious and inauspicious. But what we see, whenever we don't see Lord in something, that becomes inauspicious. Is it like whenever we see Lord in everything, it automatically becomes auspicious? So even that.
Yeah, so that is another way of categorizing auspicious and inauspicious. Here, this one, if you see what is the word meaning that is given,